What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Berry.
I'm Chris Pico.
And today's episode of
TOASTY!
We are going to talk with another man of the web, a man who does something that's similar to what we do.
100% more game-oriented.
Yes, and 101% more badass, I would say.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
He's a cool dude. So, yeah, we're going to sit down at the nearest bus stop thing that we can find in this town that we're meeting him, and
Not sketchy at all.
I know. With the porta potty, which I still think was a TARDIS. I don't think it was a porta potty.
It was a hobo TARDIS.
Hobo TARDIS. Yeah, takes him back in hobo past.
Let's do it.
Bet.
So we're here with Scott Squatch from Video Game Sellers.
Hello.
Yes.
Or hello to you, because you're the one talking. They're not talking.
Maybe. We're talking. You just can't hear them. They're on the side of the internet.
Shut up, everyone.
Yeah, damn it.
Quiet down.
Loud.
Show's about to start. Quiet down.
He's on tour with Korn right now, and we decided to ask him if he would do an interview with us, and thankfully he agreed.
And we met at this bus stop in the middle of a parking lot for no apparent reason.
Why not?
A place we don't know, and
It's not sketchy.
could get interesting. You know.
It's like, what, an hour outside of Chicago or so?
Yeah, basically at Tinley Park. So you want to talk about why you're in Illinois?
Well, like you said, I work for Korn. I'm an assistant to the guitar players, among other jobs. When you're touring, you kind of do like your main job and then 3 or 4 other little jobs.
Whatever you know.
Yeah. So I do that, and we're on a 5-show-in-a-row run right now. So pretty tired, ready for a day off tomorrow. But shows have been going good. I mean, Mayhem Fest is a huge tour. It's 15 to 20,000 people crowds every night, so it's full of energy, lots of fun. I started working for one of the guitar players, his name's Monkey, about 7 years ago, and he owned a record label, so I was working for him through the label, tour managing some bands, doing promotions out on the road, that kind of stuff. And then when the label went aside, like he didn't want to do it anymore, I asked, hey, I would still like a job, can I come out and do something? And he had just let go of his personal assistant at that time. He's like, it's not super entertaining work, it's not glorious work, but hey, if you want to come back out on tour and keep touring, we can do that. So that I've now been doing for about 5 years.
And what's like your favorite out of all the travel? What's your favorite city or place that you've been to?
Not because of what everyone thinks, but Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's an awesome city. It has nothing to do with the drugs or the prostitution or any of that kind of stuff.
Very fun culture.
Yeah, it's just, I guess when you have those kind of things, there are other cool things that go along with it. Like there's cool little rock stores or comic book shops and things that potheads, I guess, would enjoy going to. But yeah, and also being able to walk down the road and look into a window and seeing like a totally nude chick is not a bad thing.
On her cell phone.
Yeah, she's just waiting for, hey, would you like, she knocks on the glass, want to come in?
Okay,
My nipple's cold.
Yeah. In America, Denver is a great city. Seattle, anywhere like up in sort of the northwest coast is a lot of fun. And Tampa, Florida, because that's, I get to go home for a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone that's going to be watching this knows you from Video Game Sellers.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the few shows I actually watch on YouTube. I actually got back into video game collecting in October, and I always said it was you and Middle Jesus Rocks were the ones that kind of convinced me to get back into it.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I had to sell my entire collection because I lost my job and I was unemployed for like 4 months, and I had lots and lots of really good stuff.
I hear that sad story often.
Yeah, it happened.
I love Metal Jesus' channel because
like he just gave you a shout out too.
Yeah. I'll watch his like the hidden gems videos, and
that's where I find a lot of my stuff.
Every once in a while, it's normally I'll find like a game that back when it came out I was like, there's other things I want at that time, so I'll pass on that. And then watching the video, I'm like, shit, I'll go pick that up now for half the price or whatever it's at the moment.
If it hasn't like
if it's
risen.
not double the price.
Earthbound.
That would either be Brigandine on the PlayStation, which is a pretty hard to find RPG, and it comes with like a map. I think that was all it came with just a map, but that was in there, and apparently the person that was selling it was for their kid, and he had moved to college or whatever, that story. And they wanted, I think it was like $2 or $3 for it. And even at that time, it was like a $50, $60 game. Now it's more. But more recently, Mighty Final Fight for $5.
Yeah.
That was a good score.
I never see that.
2 top-loader NESs for a couple dollars a piece because it was in a bundle with like 10, 15 games and some other stuff, and they wanted $30 for everything. So it was like $3 an item.
Damn.
So, Florida, Pinellas County is a mecca for garage sales.
I was gonna say, like, I watch the videos and I'm like, I've done garage sailing twice looking for games, and I have found jack shit.
Yeah.
It's all about how many housing units or developments or neighborhoods are compact into one area, and Pinellas County is the most densely packed county in Florida. It's not the biggest, it doesn't have the most people, but for its size, it has the most people living in it. I really don't do a lot of sales online. Like, I don't sell on eBay or Amazon. It's like I'll do a sale and trade video every once in a while, or if someone happens to message me saying, I have something you're looking for, would you like to do a trade? Then I'll be like, okay, well, then that would make sense. But there's no way I could keep a consistent database of what I have, because going garage selling on Saturday, going to the flea market on Sunday, shit's gone in that short amount of time. 24 hours and it's already like half of it's gone.
Yeah, because I remember I saw like the episode where you had like a D2 for the Dreamcast, and I remember I contacted you about it, and I was just like, oh, that D2, if you had it, I'd really like that. And you're like, oh, Kenny took it.
Yeah. and that's the other thing. It's not just like, shoppers or something. It's Kenny and Aaron and some other people at the flea market that are interested in getting it. Most of the time, 99% of the time, to sell it themselves.
Yeah.
But it's a goofy, never-ending circle of where the games go at the flea market.
Yeah.
That's our life there. They're not like everything else, because I am, and I always admit it, especially when people ask, like, oh, why aren't you filming in 1080p HD with, a camera crew and all this stuff? It's like, that's not what I started doing, and that's not what I was wanting to do. It's like, I literally was just doing this for fun. It wasn't like to do a show or a TV show or anything, so I don't do special effects. My special effects are me putting my hand over the camera.
The transitions?
Yeah, to transition. So it's like, that's, it's more just about the personalities and the weirdness of it all, I would say.
Yeah.
That's the special effects is the very special people.
I think that's why you get all the views. It's an extremely entertaining show.
Yeah,
the crew that you're with is really fun to watch.
I got a great mix of people, like different styles, different games they're into, different ways that they talk to each other. I got my white whale a few years ago, and that was Magical Chase on the TurboGrafx. And there are other games I really want, mainly like the expensive ones on TurboGrafx, but that was the one where if I hadn't got it back then, I'd be really bad now, because it seems every year that game goes up about another $1,000. It's one of the few games that has been doing that the last few years. It's not like a couple bucks or $100. It went from like $2,000, like I'm saying, for say a complete in-box copy or whatever, went from like $2,000 then to like 3 or 4. Now it's up to 6 or 7 for like a complete in-box one. So
I'm not really familiar with that one.
It happened to be one of the later releases on the TurboGrafx, and it just wasn't, I guess, produced a lot. And for whatever reason, maybe the name also, Magical Chase, makes for a really good, game to chase and to look for. So that's all it takes. I mean, Earthbound wouldn't be $150 or $200, in that range, if people weren't like, it's Earthbound. You know, there's games rarer than that aren't worth nearly as much.
That still confuses me
to
no end, because I remember like back when it had come out maybe a few months, and I went to like a KB Toys and they had like a bucket of them for like $5.
Yeah.
Just stacked up this high and no one was biting.
Yep.
Even I passed it up. I was just kind of like,
If the right person or right whoever channel on YouTube or something, talks about a game and they're big enough, sometimes that can, bump in the right direction.
Yeah.
Not saying I did this, but I remember Rule of Rose on the PS2.
Yep.
I did a video, and at the time it was like obscure, $30 or $40 or so, and then a few months later it was like $70 or $80, and it had gone up a lot just in that small amount of time. Like I said, I'm not saying when I talked about it that caused it to go up, but someone had said, hey, that game's friggin' rare and expensive now. I was like, really? It's almost, $80 to $100?
yeah.
That's crazy.
I found it at a store used by me and they were asking for $100.
Yeah.
I was just like, no.
To go back to your question, I would say currently the Dynastic Hero on TurboGrafx 16 and Super Air Zonk are two games that I'm really looking for, and they're both. There's like one copy of each on eBay from the same guy, and he's asking $1,000 and $1,500. I was like, hey, could you do a bundle deal?
Yeah.
I bought a couple. Tip-wise, I did a video 4 months ago about garage sailing and tips for doing it. I would say that the number one, or the couple of number one things are trying to find community sales, and the more sales in a tight area. Like I was saying, Pinellas County, where I live, is just so condensed, so I don't have to drive very far. But say if you don't live in a populated area, maybe try to find a little bit better of a town, not too far, because you never want to drive an hour and get to a town and it just blows and you've wasted an hour's worth of gas. But it's about just trying to find that right balance of what's going to be the best community. Don't go to like a 50 and up living community.
Right.
Try to
That's what I did.
try to find a family community. Do a little bit of research. Honestly, I don't do a lot of research beforehand. I'll check out like yardsalessearch.com, a little bit of Craigslist, but Craigslist is so oversaturated now. If someone posts, we're selling video games, 10,000 other people saw that. So the chances that you're going to get to that Craigslist post, if it's a garage sale one, are pretty slim. But I just do a lot of driving around. Like I maybe will, map out a little bit of an area, but keeping an eye out for the yard sale signs, because it's always the sales that don't list the games, that don't have games out on their table, that you ask. Asking every place is how you're going to get those rare things, because they're going to be like, oh, you want old games? We didn't think anyone would give a shit about that. Hey, honey, go pull out your box of old Nintendo stuff, which happens every single time I go garage sale. It's not like a rare, that's how you find shit is, oh, they have it in their garage and they just didn't think you'd want it.
Yeah.
And a weird tip that recently I've kind of trying to put onto myself is, if it's lightly raining or you look outside, you're like, the weather doesn't look that great today, but there's supposed to be sales, go. Because even if there's 5 sales in your whole area, there's not many people going to be garage selling. They're going to be thinking the same thing you were. It looks shitty out. Why would I want to go out today? And I've missed some amazing finds because I was like, I'll wait another hour. Maybe it'll clear up. I'll sleep in or something. And then I get to the sale and it's like, oh, you just missed our boxed in 64 collection we had. I'm like, really? It's raining. Why would you do that? It makes no sense. So. PS1 has the most games that I fell in love with. I mean, Silent Hill is my favorite series of all time, so that's where that started. Resident Evil is I'm wearing a Resident Evil shirt right now. That started there. Final Fantasy VII, obviously, was so many people's either like first RPG, or it wasn't my first RPG or my first Final Fantasy, but it was the first of that style, the more cinematic, crazy world to explore that just feels like it's so detailed and in depth. But yeah, PS1 and then Super Nintendo would be probably my other one, for sort of the same reason. I mean, it has such a vast library of different styles. I like it when there's a system that it's not just shooters or just fighting games or whatever. There's such a good mix on those systems.
Yeah, that's the one I've been trying to collect for them, because that's the first one I actually bought for my own, instead of having like my parents buy it for me. So I've been trying to get like all the games I had when I was a kid, but I'm finding that to be extremely hard.
Actually, I think the PS1 might have been the first one I bought on my own, like with my own money. Christmas and birthday was
Yeah.
game time. Besides that. I'm gonna ask you guys a question.
Do it.
All right.
Now, darkness, the tables are turned. Do with him whatever you like.
I'm hijacking your show. What is? I'll ask you first. Besides, because I won't even try to include my channel on YouTube. Like, what do you normally watch on YouTube? He doesn't know.
I don't.
He's never watched YouTube.
I watch
Usually the stuff I recommend.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch more MeTube.
Me too?
Yeah. No.
Is that like RedTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
RedditTube. No, I watched your show, Metal Jesus. I mean, because anyone who does like our style of stuff, you should watch Metal Jesus. He's a good one. Other than that, I don't watch a whole lot besides the occasional movie that people break up into 25 parts.
Yeah.
So I could watch it for free.
And then they speed it up
Yeah.
like a teeny bit, or whatever, so their voices are a little
or
more
they mirror it, they flip it so it's all like kind of mirrored. But
Yeah.
other than that, there's not a whole lot of shows like ours that I watch.
You ever do any just like random YouTube like video surfing? Like, you know, you see it, not even game related, but you'll see a video and you're like, oh, there's a monkey taking a dump, and then you click on that, and then the next one, and then like a half hour, an hour later, you've gone like
Cat
40
videos.
Yeah. You're like, oh man, what
And
happened?
you're not even close to where you started.
Yeah.
I do that a lot with I watch a lot of video game videos of people they'll take like Grand Theft Auto and they'll do like a funny, especially with the new like multiplayer, they'll do something funny with it. I forget the guy's name who does all the Minecraft. He's a professional Minecraft
One of the billion
guy.
people that do the Minecraft.
But like he builds a bunch of different worlds and puts them on display or whatever, which is always kind of cool. But other than that, it's just what I usually see is just completely random. Whatever comes across.
More time
Shark
on
Attack videos.
More time on RedTube and whatever MeTube.
Yeah.
All right, and your question will be: we were briefly talking. Actually, I should have probably asked him that, but whatever. We were talking about Orange is the New Black and Weeds and stuff. What are some of your favorite TV shows of more recent times, the last few years?
Recently? Orange is the New Black I pretty much watched that like the weekend it came out and watched the whole thing the weekend.
That's one thing that sucks about it.
You gotta wait a whole year after that.
Yeah. I mean, I love it, but there's no way I could space it out. Like, I couldn't do one a week or something. I did this. I think I watched it in 2 days. I went through the whole thing.
Yeah. I recently just got into like Arrow.
My wife Katie's been watching that a bunch.
They have it on Netflix, and I didn't watch it. I don't have like cable, so I don't get to watch anything like that. And I usually have to watch it through the internet somehow, like on Hulu or something.
Yeah.
And I saw that they put the whole first season up on Netflix, and I was just kind of like, don't give it a shot. And yeah, within like a week and a half, that was done. the whole first season. I was like, all right, bring out season 2. Not out yet, so I gotta wait. But
how about like Mad Men or
Breaking Bad? Yeah, Breaking Bad. I was really into. Then when that ended, I was sad.
Did you check about House of Cards?
No, I haven't gotten around to that one. It's on my queue, but I haven't watched it yet.
That's definitely.
I've seen the original.
Because of Taryn, when we had Taryn on the show, she was on Sons of Anarchy, so I started watching that.
Oh,
we have the first 5 seasons of that on Netflix. I just finished the 5th season up of that, and that took about a month.
Yeah, that can be a lot. I mean,
I almost stopped watching during the 3rd season because the 3rd season is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's good. All the characters are great. The actors are great in it. The cinematography's got some really cool cinematography.
Yeah, this is like a movie.
It's just constant. It's almost soap opera. Like
yeah.
there's so much
the 3rd
drama.
season
like,
they go to Ireland to retrieve a kidnapped baby.
Yeah, it's like I just want to see a gunfight.
Yeah,
they can't walk 10 feet without something.
And lots of crying.
Something.
Lots and lots of crying.
Yeah, lots of just really intense drama. And just kind of like after a couple episodes, you're just like, okay,
I need a break.
Yeah, it's kind of like Louis. Louis a great show, but after like 2 episodes, you're like, okay, Louis, I feel really bad for you.
His show is funny, but very sad at the same time.
And then you watch and then if you were to watch like 3 episodes in a row, you'll finally get that episode where something good happens and it feels good. You're like, all right, way to go, Louis.
It's not him being dissed by some girl. He just needs some sex or something.
And then to know that he writes all this, so like it's just him writing shitty about himself, like as a person. It's like that's probably pretty difficult to do for most people, but you do a really good job at just putting yourself in worse situations.
Poor Louis.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the most consistently good shows out there.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I watch it, I'm like,
yeah, it's well written, well directed.
One of the few TV shows I actually purchased seasons of on Blu-ray.
His stuff is also, it's because he's a great stand-up comic, and then he transitioned into a TV show, really well. Most of the time, they don't. You know, it's either you're a great stand-up comic and you're good at that free balling kind of stuff, and then you kind of suck at TV. But
he pulled it off.
Yeah.
If I ever met him, I'd want to ask him about directing Pootie Tang.
I'm gonna sign your pity on the runny kind.
Yeah, because he's not a fan of it.
Sign on the runny kind.
From it.
That's weird. All right, well, I guess that ends the question portion from me of the show. So you have to wrap it up now.
So yeah, it's time for the wrap up.
I hope there's sound effects there.
Yeah, there always is.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're usually more elaborate with the hand
Yeah, a
gestures.
little ninja.
Gotcha. Swing, swing.
Yeah.
There we go.
Schnooka, schneer, schneer.
Snicked.
Berserker mode. So yeah, so we talked about
Lots of
some
stuff.
random
little bit of
things
everything.
of random.
This was more. It was more. We had a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what our show's always been about.
Yeah.
So me and Chris got to meet someone that we watch, and now you get to watch us with him.
Yay!
I guess it's almost Matrix kind of like it's inside of its insideness. Whoa.
To complete the loop, if you have not seen my stuff, my channel is J. Well, this way I can't tell if we can. Anyways, JHMDF. And then if you just type in video game sellers, that's the show. So I mean, it comes up. There's 78 episodes.
It's awesome. You guys
It's
should
a lot
check
of
it out.
fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Oh,
That-
come on.
Yeah, he has to though. You
You know what? I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because if you like boobs, there's a lot of boobs on our show.
Hey,
Yeah.
and I give it 9.
Yes, yeah.
I'm with him.
Woo! Hey, well, thank you guys. This was fun.
Man,
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
All
Until
right.
next time.
I guess the craziest story, in one day, we were hit by a semi, like a cattle carrying semi truck, and took off like half of the van. This was a van tour years and years ago. And then that same day also spun out on black ice, and then had to take one of the guys to the hospital for pneumonia, who was like close to death, like blood was coming out of his mouth from coughing. That was all in 24 hours in Nebraska, so thank you, Nebraska.